Welcome to Module 3 on establishing a research implementation team, and this is the final pre-recording session of this course. The session will cover the larger governance structure of a research project or a study and the research implementation team that sits within it. We will further present the roles and responsibilities of team members, the communication channels, and other aspects that one should keep in mind to effectively run a team. At the end of the session, we expect that as project managers, you can establish, run, and maintain a team to implement a project more efficiently. The learning objectives are as follows: to understand the governance structure of a research project, to identify key roles within a research implementation team, and to learn some strategies for team formation, communication, and management. We need to acknowledge and reflect on why implementation teams are critical in any research study, because they bridge and translate research objectives and methods into real world practice and execution. I will use an example of the SMART mental health trial. We were able to successfully conduct the trial with encouraging and positive outcomes across 133 villages in 3 districts of North and South India, screening about 170,000 population and recruiting about 10,000 participants as the study cohort, training about 500 community health workers, ASHAs, what they are called here in India, and 50 primary healthcare doctors. Because we could do all this and achieve all this is because we had a strong team comprising of field staff who worked tirelessly on the ground. They were supervised by program managers as well as by research fellows. And I would like to emphasize that the team in the field who were engaged in implementing the study belonged to the community where the study was conducted. The team above this who were responsible for study oversight comprised of an interdisciplinary team of mental health professionals, that is psychologists, psychiatrists, and psychiatric social workers, social scientists, that is anthropologists, social workers, and qualitative researcher, biostatisticians, health economists, health communication, and implementation science experts. I will use an example of an existing study to give you an idea of the governance structure. Please have a look at the figure here. So the study governance is overseen by the Anumati steering group, which is co-chaired by the PI and the co-PI and includes all other co-investigators. So it will initially meet bi-monthly and be responsible for providing strategic oversight and scientific inputs to the conduct of the research. It has increasingly been seen to include patient or participant representatives in the governance of research and even clinical trials. Thus, an adolescent expert advisory group, which we call the AEAG, provides strategic advice to the steering committee on all aspects of the study, and peer leaders meet bi-monthly with the steering committee co-chairs. Both the steering committee and the AEG are supported by an operations management group who meet weekly to manage day-to-day operations of the project. The core project implementation team is an extension of this group, the operations management group. An internal sorry an international expert advisory committee meet quarterly with the steering co-chairs and provides advice on study design and implementation. We also convene a policy advisory group, an independent data safety monitoring committee that is constituted with specific terms of reference to provide oversight to the safety concerns related to the trial. The core project implementation team, which is this, is led by the project manager. The implementation team that is responsible for delivering the study of a large complex intervention may look something like this. So you have field level execution is coordinated by the field supervisors and have field workers or investigators working with them to execute and monitor field level activities. Say for instance, if the study involves monitoring and implementing interventions in 18 villages, then the overall responsibility of delivering this across all the villages is that of the project manager, under whom 3 field supervisors oversee the activities in 6 villages each, and 3 field workers deliver the interventions in 2 villages each. So the implementation team is the engine room of your project, and it translates objectives, tasks, and work packages into tangible deliverables and actions. The composition of an implementation team. The implementation team comprises of PI, co-PIs, and co-Is. The PI whose brainchild and baby the project is, and is closely supported, like I said, by the co-PIs and the co-investigators. So many of the co-Is double up as supporting the project manager in project operations and implementation. So the key responsibility of the PI is study and scientific oversight, funder and budget reporting, and overall team coordination. The project manager is closely supported by field level personnel comprising of field coordinators or supervisors and field workers or investigators. The project manager looks at daily operations, study deliverables as per timeline, and implementation and reporting. The field supervisors or coordinators looks at site logistic, participant recruitment, community engagement, field monitoring, and implementation. The field investigators, somewhat similar to what field supervisors also do, look at data collection, intervention delivery, Another set of members in the implementation team who generally work in the background are data managers and the qualitative and quantitative analysts. So the data manager's responsibility is setting up the database, supporting clean and quality data. The statistician is developing a statistical analysis plan, what we call as SAP, data analysis and the interpretation of it, and supporting manuscript writing. A qualitative researcher is developing again a data collection plan, data analysis and interpretation. So these are the broad roles of the team members. Each team member comes with their own set of skills and brings to the table technical and domain knowledge expertise along with operational and managerial skills. While these are often seen as hard skills, what is often overlooked are the recognition and application of soft skills such as leadership qualities, communication styles, and conflict resolution strategies. These soft skills are critical in maintaining team morale, performance, and sustaining a team over a long period of time. If a project is for 5 years and you have a team working together for that duration, then these aspects are very critical. I just want you to pause for a few minutes and rehearse in your mind by thinking of a project you are involved in and identifying the key members involved in the implementation team, and also identifying if there are any roles that are missing to efficiently implement the study. So a roles and responsibilities matrix is outlined here to better understand the reporting lines and communication. Like the project manager reports to the PI or the co-PI, the field supervisor in turn reports to the project manager, the field worker reports to the field supervisor, and data manager reports to the project manager. Similarly, the lines of communication is also similar to the reporting line. Team formation strategies. So recruitment strategies is the composition and team dynamics are largely dependent on different strategies that project managers use during the recruitment process. So there are internal, where you leverage institutional expertise. So like we have been working as a team in previous studies and have reached a level of comfort working together as we understand each other's style of working. Then there is external, where you hire consultants, collaborate with NGOs or CBOs or community-based workers or community-based organization. In the Smart Mental Health Community Trial, all of the field supervisors and workers, like I had mentioned earlier, belong to the community where the study was conducted. This helped us to leverage existing relationships of the field staff with the community and also address some of the challenges encountered during rolling out of the intervention, a complex intervention. Consider diversity, gender and minority, lived experience, and local knowledge. Though it is not always feasible to find the right balance in the composition of the team, it should reflect some representation of the community and its culture. Use standard recruitment matrix. While hiring personnel, use a quantifiable and standard against which the recruitment was done. This ensures transparency and accountability to all members, either hired internally or externally as field consultants. So it's very important that even if they are hired externally as field consultants, you use a standard recruitment measure. Onboarding essentials, project orientation. So members of the team should have a uniform understanding of the objectives, work packages, tasks, and deliverables, and timelines of the study. This should be mapped into the roles and responsibilities of each member. Having clear roles corresponding to the task also helps in clarity of roles and responsibilities and in accountability of deliverables. The immediate manager or supervisor will know whom to reach out to in case of a delayed or an unfinished task. Training on some of these tools. While team members are onboarded, they will need to be supported with training to develop skills that are required to deliver on project task. Ethics, safety protocols, research quality. Team members need to be oriented and they should adhere to institutional policies related to ethical and safety standards and research quality and protocols. Setting ground rules for team members, mission, values, working norms. As per institutional policies, members know what team members should know what the larger mission is and the values that the institution upholds, what are the norms that are followed, and what is expected of employers associated with the institution. For instance, the institution has zero tolerance for sexual harassment in the workplace and adheres to national guidelines. Decision making and conflict resolution pathways, the process of how decisions are taken in terms of who takes the decision and how it is taken. As members work in a team, conflicts are bound to arise. Thus, what is the process and pathways to resolve conflicts within team members? Communication plans, as indicated earlier, when several individuals work together, there is bound to be conflict and disagreements. However, there are strategies to decrease the intensity of these so that it does not affect team performance. Communication plans, weekly team meetings, they can either be virtual or in person. Virtual is the best actually. Weekly or daily team meetings are scheduled as per the requirements of the phases of the study. Each member should be encouraged and given an opportunity to speak and voice their concerns and disagreements. However, these meetings are platforms for shared learnings among team members, clear channels of communication in line with the reporting structure as shown in the figure earlier. Communication channel should also follow that same pathway like I had mentioned. Conflict resolution. So encourage open dialogue. Team members should feel free to speak out if they perceive concerns and encounter conflicts among the team. Use structured feedback tools like start, stop, continue. This tool helps team reflect on their practices and improve performance by categorizing feedback into three actionable areas. You start new actions or behavior, you stop ineffective or harmful actions, and you continue those actions that are effective. I'll just come to this with an example scenario. Uh, there should be an escalation matrix, who to approach when issues arise. Related to clear channels of communication, team members should have clear instructions as to who do they reach out to if their grievances are not addressed. So we use an example scenario. So the context is that during a monthly review meeting, the project manager notices delay in data uploads and inconsistent community engagement across sites. A structured feedback session is held with field supervisors and investigators. So you use WhatsApp group for daily checklists. This improves real-time coordination and accountability. You start including community leaders in weekly planning. This builds trust and improves participant retention. You stop collecting data without verifying consent forms as it risks ethical violations and data invalidation. You stop last minute changes to field schedules as this causes confusions and reduces team morale. You continue weekly debriefs with field supervisors. This helps identify challenges early and share solutions. And you continue recognition of high performing field staff. This boosts motivation and retention. Motivation and retention. So you recognition, certificates, shout outs. So team members' efforts are appreciated and recognized by providing material and non-material incentives, clearly mentioning the name of the team member and the contribution during team meetings. Career development opportunities like trainings, attending conference presentations, making conference presentations, having authorships in journals within the scope of the role, opportunities to enhance skills of team members by enrolling in courses or workshops, opportunities to attend conferences and present the work that team members are engaged in, providing authorship in journal papers where team members have contributed substantially, and inclusive culture. Make each member feel a part of the team and provide opportunities to unwind, such as an annual picnic or outing where families are encouraged to join too. So I will end the session with a few key takeaways. So a strong implementation team is the backbone of any successful research project. A strong teams are built on clarity, communication, and collaboration. So invest in recruitment, onboarding, and communication. Foster a culture of trust, learning, and accountability. And your role as a project manager is to enable and empower team members.